We meet again at Studio Slew for a 2-day oil painting intensive. Now, the intensive is being taught by Alai Ganuza, an artist from Spain who I discovered on Instagram. And I loved Alai's use of color and had been kind of manifesting an oil painting class, so I signed up for this with the quickness. Okay, we got a color wheel, a couple different brushes, some tape. I don't know what that is. That is something else that starts with the G. I need to look up our reference, a little baby canvas, and a palette knife. We started the day by mixing up 3 colors, basically to represent the darks, the mids, and the highlights. And I really liked this approach because it felt like something I could come back to, and no matter what I'm painting, have like an approach and a way to start. And so also what I liked is like when you have those 3 colors, you can mix them with each other to create more values, and that just adds to like the depth and dimension. So that was really cool, and I like that I could take that with me to future paintings, regardless of subject or medium. Sometimes when I'm painting and on autopilot, not to be confused with flow state because they are not the same, I'll just fill a piece with one color or like not be intentional enough about my mark making. And that doesn't really lend itself to creating dimension and depth or visual interest for that matter. So I think I made this mistake with the donut and was also like moving ahead because I'm like, oh, I paint, so I'm just going to paint this how I normally paint. And it's more about like trying to fill the page rather than thinking intentionally about where I placed the colors and the kind of brush strokes that I used. And I think this really just led to me not loving this piece or even really liking it for that matter. Because once I realized that I was doing it, I was kind of too far gone, and I got to look at everybody else's donuts, and then that's the worst when you start comparing. So that was a major lesson learned on day 1. There were definitely some bright spots of the donut painting. I loved making the various colors for the sprinkles, discovering that if you add this like gel medium to it, it'll sort of create this dimension where it sits on top of the donut. So that was cool and something that I'll probably use in future work. But I was really kind of blown by myself because it defeated the whole purpose. Anyhow, I clearly needed to learn the lesson, so that was great. And I got to take my fresh mindset in today too. So now we have finished, and here's our donuts, the reference and the finished piece. Me, being who I am, I'm the second person here today. So let's go on the tour. Cheers. I really love the art in here and am super excited that I discovered Slew. Love this portrait. The hair. I really only need a studio like a fraction of this size and I will be so pleased. I mean, like, hi. Plenty of supplies. This is our subject for today. We got a little hot dog plushie. I'm so excited to paint this. Okay, we have our drawing. I used a grid for the first time. That was a mime. So just like on day one, we started with 3 colors for darks, mids, and lights. And from there, I started painting. And maybe you can tell, but I was much more considerate about where I placed my marks and the size of them. And the goal was really to use the brush strokes to mimic the texture of the plushie. Safe to say, I was feeling really good about the painting. And then my camera died, but that didn't stop my show. I wrapped up the details, added the shadows, and ultimately ended up with a piece that I really love. I enjoyed the intensive and continue to come back to the lesson I learned. When I feel like a painting isn't working, I step back and assess whether I'm just filling the canvas or intentionally mark making in a way that gives my art dimension and better represents how I actually see the values. And look at how cute she is. Obviously, after creating such a masterpiece, I needed to figure out how to get it home. So I kind of learned how to make a makeshift carrier for my paintings so that I could get them home safely flying back to Chicago. I was geeked to show Bay. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and go check out some other videos of my art. Bye!